Doom gets a release date for the Nintendo Switch. You see what I did there?
I did.
I was talking about Doom. Doom is coming to the Switch on November 10th. Nintendo and Bethesda has announced. The company has revealed the release date in a separate post on Twitter alongside an interview with Doom developer id Software. In an interview, creative director Hugo Martin and executive producer Marty Stratton discusses how they worked with the developer Panic Button to bring the shooter to Nintendo's latest console. Doom initially launched last year on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC before being revealed for Switch last month during a Nintendo Direct. The Switch version includes both the single-player campaign and multiplayer, though the latter will require a separate download due to the cartridge size restraints. I'm excited about this. I'm glad that third parties are coming to the Switch, and Doom is such a popular game. Yeah. One game that I haven't finished yet, but that's among many at this point in time. But it's a good game. I'm glad Bethesda has really garnered a huge partnership with Nintendo.
And that's one thing that is going to bolster the Switch. Like, we've always wondered, when are these bigger games going to start coming to it? Now we're starting to see more and more of these games. They're not as much taking the leap of faith anymore as they're seeing that the Switch is a viable console to put their stuff on. Yeah, you're not going to be able to run these games at optimum, peak efficiency or anything like that, but you're still going to get the good gameplay. You're still going to get the fun experience, because there's maybe you're reaching a whole different group. Like, I know a lot of gamers have the Switch and the PS4 or the Switch and the Xbox, but you're going to find some people who just have the Switch.
Yeah.
And you could be, it's going to cost you just a little bit to port it into the Switch, but I think what their company's going to get out is going to far surpass what they have to put in.
Yeah, because the attach rate with the Switch is astronomical compared to the other consoles. So I think them trying to get on the bandwagon right now is what they need to do. And I'm glad that they're supporting it, because you look at third-party support on the Wii U last generation for Nintendo was appalling, and that's why it died.
And one thing that, I wished I could take my Xbox or my PlayStation with me anywhere and play a game anytime. Guess what? You can do that with a Switch.
You can.
So you might have somebody buying Doom for Xbox, but they'll turn around and probably buy Doom for Switch as well, if that's something that they really enjoy.
Yeah.
Like, if it's a game that they love, they'll buy it for the Switch as well, so that if they go on a business trip or they're having to travel to Tennessee, they could play a game like that.
Are you dropping hints to borrow my Switch? Sorry, there's a game coming out this week that's going to be played. Free incoming Shadow of War update will extend the end game. Many players are still chewing their way through Shadow of War's mini game. However, for those in search of more, have no fear. Monolith will I was trying to make a joke about that they will charge you in some shape, form, or fashion.
I'm just enjoying her struggle right now.
It's fine.
No.
I'll survive. It's okay.
It's not up there.
It's not up there?
Nope.
Huh. Oh well.
Just read it.
Anyway, Monolith is working to deliver an extension on the content of Shadow of War's endgame. After the events of the main game of Shadow of War, the player becomes involved in a back-and-forth struggle with orcs trying to retake the fortresses you've taken through the game. While right now this is a lengthy but limited feature that eventually ends, Infinite Shadow of Wars, which have no release date yet, will make the back-and-forth never-ending for players who just can't get enough of the Nemesis system.
Yeah, bring it on. The more updates we get for this stuff, I feel like the better the game is gonna be. Like, right now, I'm enjoying the crap out of it. I think Monolith has done a good job with the game. Press on the game, not so much. I'm enjoying a lot of the orcs, how they have their own personalities and everything like that. That's some of the coolest parts.
That is one part of the podcast from last week that I'm definitely going to release this week. The Oig Ovner.
Oh, there was a guy, he had the screechy, British accent, and I'm like, if there was anybody whose name should be Oig Ovner, it's this guy. He was like, "Hi, you think you..." And I the voice, and I was just like, oh God. blood. I was like, I'm not even. He's not even getting in my army. I was like, I'm killing him right there.
Ah, come on. We'll put that somewhere. It'll be.
If only you could change the names of them, I would change his name to
I'm
Oig.
sure there's some like command, like console command you can do.
I don't know. It'd be cool.
It'd be cool. The Switch version of Resident Evil Revelations has exclusive retro minigames. Capcom announced that 2 minigames are coming exclusively to the Nintendo Switch versions of Resident Evil Revelations Collection, including a reskin of Ghouls and Ghosts starring secret best Resident Evil character Baron Burton. The other minigame, Ghost Ship, challenges what seems to be very pixelated Jill Valentine to shoot pink ooze and that woman who doesn't know how to wear a wetsuit aboard the ship in Resident Evil Revelations.
You ooze, you lose.
Hey.
The 2 minigames reflect off their respective games, Ghost Ship for the first game and Ghouls and Homunculi for Barry's adventure to rescue Homunculi to rescue his daughter in Revelations 2. The strange new additions also feed back into the game's raid modes, letting you earn BP and other bonuses to take into your bow killing extra modes.
Your bow killing.
See, they're saying a lot of stuff that I just don't understand. I don't play these.
Bow killing, but that works too.
Bow killing. Check out these 2 separate trailers if you wanted to. These release on November 28th on the Nintendo Switch. Only on the Nintendo Switch.
It's cool that they're getting their own stuff like that. I know a lot of people who have the Switch are into these kind of like platform type games, so that might be something that's down their aisle, but not mine. Like I'm not. I like platformers. I like the little side scrollers and all that stuff, but I mean,
I'm not good at platformers. I've proven this time and time again that I'm not good at platformers. There is one platformer I'm going to be playing this week.
Cuphead.
Mario Kart. I mean Mario. Not Mario Kart. That's not really a platformer, but Super Mario Odyssey is coming out this week.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, so many games are coming
Friday.
out this week.
We'll talk about that. I want to ask you, out of the 3 games that are coming out this week, I know there's other games, but the 3 major games that are coming out this
You know
week.
which one I'm getting.
But first, before we get to that, we got more Switch news. Telltale's Batman Season 1 Nintendo's release date has been announced. Telltale Batman Season 1 is coming to Nintendo Switch on November 14th in North America and November 17th in Europe and Australia. Telltale's game has confirmed that the first season of Batman series will be arriving next month on the hybrid system. Last month, Telltale talked about the Switch was a perfect match for the studio, as it plans to also bring Guardians of the Galaxy to Nintendo consoles. Our Batman Let's Plays are up. We got Batman Let's Plays over on the Nerd Cave Gaming side. I enjoyed the first season. Second season is awesome as well. So you should go check those out. And if you're waiting, if you've got a Switch, you're like, I want something good to play, and you like Batman, you need to take this chance to do it. Because Batman in this universe, a little bit different. A little bit different. There's little nuggets in there that's a little bit different. A little bit different.
'Cause in this one, you just see more of the detective side of everything.
See a little bit more of the detective side, but it's not just like straight up just like, oh, this is Batman. These are the same things. Like, there's differences.
Yeah.
There's some differences. It makes the game a lot more interesting story-wise. So, I'm excited for it. You should be excited for it.
Plus, you get to listen to Troy Baker as Batman, and who does not want that?
Yeah.
It's true.
It's interesting. Troy Baker played the Joker in Arkham Origins. So, it's like, he's just like moving around.
Troy
He
Baker's
gets
doing, like, everything.
around.
Him and Nolan North are just like
They're I think
they're everywhere.
It was at some like I think it was probably like at like San Diego Comic-Con or whatever, but someone was asking like, oh, how do you get into voice acting? I think it's whenever they were doing like press tours or whatever for Uncharted 4, and Nolan North and Troy Baker were just like, just wait until one of us dies.
Yeah, pretty much. Nintendo Switch sales exceed 2 million units in the US alone. Nintendo is touching NPD data that says that the Switch has sold more than 2 million units in the US in advance of the system's first holiday season. The accolades continue as September was the third straight month that the system was the best-selling home console, and the fifth time out of the 7 since its launch. At the end of July, Nintendo said that it has sold 4.7 million units worldwide. In terms of software, the Switch boasts 2 games in the NPD Top 10 software chart. For the month, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle at 7, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild at 10. Mario 8 Deluxe came in just outside the top 10 at the 11th spot. Like I'm saying, attach rate is amazing on this thing, and it's selling like hotcakes, and it is just around the corner of being in the holiday season. If they've ramped up their production like they've talked about, then Nintendo is going to be rolling in cash.
I think it's going to be it's going to easily, most likely, be the best-selling console this holiday season.
Yeah, this holiday season.
I agree with that.
It's got a lot of ground to make up to be anywhere close to the PlayStation 4 and like overall sales and everything. But it is, if it's within 7 months already sold 2 million units just in the US. Like, it is going to be head and shoulders above anything that Nintendo's done recently.
Just that stat, there's no way that it's not going to be the best-selling console.
Next up, LEGO Dimensions reportedly ending a year early. Say it isn't so. Apparently, I've done a bad job of pulling up articles.
Well, no, that's on me. That shows that I wasn't paying attention. That's not what you were talking about.
Did you put that up on the screen?
I did put that up on the screen. For some reason, like, I heard you talking about the Switch, and I was like, I didn't know they put that on the Switch. Oh, well.
All right, LEGO Dimensions has reportedly ended a year early than planned. Though Warner Brothers has yet to officially confirm or deny the news, sources close to Eurogamer say that TT Games had developed a series has been canceled. The publication cites multiple reasons for the cancellation, including the cost of using real Legos, flagging sales, and the toys to life genre falling out of fashion. I hate to see this happening, but the longer this went on, the more and more it was apparent that this was going to happen. So I hate it. I enjoyed Dimensions, but
yeah, the little bit I played with you, I liked it. I liked being able to switch out your characters, and being able to build your own characters and everything like that. But, unfortunately, all things must come to an end, and it's the season has come for this to end. Because I think Skylanders and this and everything like that, I think the time is...
Yeah, because we had Disney Infinity as well, so it's kind of ran its course, unfortunately. And another thing that's ran its course is Pokemon RPGs are no longer going to be on the Nintendo 3DS. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon will be the last Pokemon RPGs for the 3DS. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon will be the culmination of the series developer Game Freak's work on the 3DS, presumably before the core Pokemon RPG series moves to a new home on the Nintendo Switch. Speaking to IGN, Game Freak director Shigeru Amori explained that the company has seen each of its 3DS games as the full extent of what could be achieved on the handheld console. When we were making Pokemon X and Y, we were really trying to push the 3DS system to its absolute limits, which is what we thought we'd done, but when Sun and Moon came around, we completely redesigned the system and actually ended up pushing the 3DS even further to what we thought was the most we could draw out of it. However, that process of improvement seems to have come to an end, with the upshot being that Game Freak will move on after the new game's release on November 17th. I think this is a good thing that
I do too, 100%.
That the next game will not be held back by a 3DS version.
This is just giving more people more of an excuse to go out and get the Switch, because I know I love playing the Pokemon games. So having Zelda, having Mario, and now having Pokemon all on the Switch, I mean, why wouldn't you get a Switch?
Yep. More Switch news. The Switch now supports USB headsets, but not for everything.
Everything you'd want.
Everything you'd want. Sorry. The Switch 4.0 firmware updated last night, but in a typical Nintendo fashion, the firmware notes did not fully explain everything that they added. Also, in typical Nintendo fans, some of the things they added do not fully do everything you would want. The Nintendo Switch subreddit, a community once known for its rabid fervor for the NX news to the point where posters were encouraged to post their dreams about the system, discovered last night that the USB headsets being plugged into the dock were recognized by the Switch. Those with USB-A to USB-C adapters were even able to plug directly into the Switch for the same result. USB speakers also work similarly. So how does this benefit you? Well, you have to be in a pretty specific situation. You might have headphones you really like, but are USB and don't want to get an adapter for the aux port. You can use the, as mentioned, USB speakers that might be better than your TVs, blah, 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 blah. So not everything's supported. Unfortunately, but it is what it is. It's better than not having it.
True.
And as it goes along, Nintendo would continue to improve it step by step, day by day. All of that good stuff. Now, something that needs to be improved, as in it needs to be dead, just like everything else that Activision does that's bad. Activision patents manipulative microtransaction-based matchmaking. Call of Duty World War II developer Activision have been granted a patent for a new matchmaking system, one that analyzes player behavior and tweaks their gaming experience to encourage microtransactions. Excuse me. Loot boxes and in-game purchases have become increasingly controversial, with more AAA games releasing with some variation of this component. The recent beta of Star Wars Battlefront 2 raised the issue of how monetized loot boxes have become problematic. Been talking about this for a while.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway.
They're just catching up with us.
Likewise, the full release of Middle-earth Shadow of War has been criticized for being pay to win. The element of chance of inherent in these systems led to the gamers to question the nature as a form of gambling, and the ESRB talked about it. It was like, it's not gambling, which I don't agree with. But anyway, what Activision has done is described as computer implemented method of driving microtransactions in a multiplayer game. The story has since been picked up by a bunch of news outlets, and a bunch of YouTubers have done videos and all of that. So here's an example. For example, if the player purchased a particular weapon, the microtransaction engine may match the player in a gameplay session in which the particular weapon is highly effective. This may encourage the player to make future purchases to achieve similar game results. It goes on to say, for instance, the microtransaction engine may match a more expert or marquee player with a junior player to encourage the junior player to make a game-related purchase of the item possessed or used by the marquee player. A junior player may wish to emulate the marquee player by attaining weapons or other items used by the marquee player.
Now, this is the kind of, I want to say a word, crap that will keep me from playing multiplayer games. Like, Call of Duty is already in the doghouse with me for releasing crap the past couple of years. Now, past like 4 or 5 years. But if you're going to, you're already making it paid to play, making the players so much better, and they're not grinding, they're not doing what the games are meant to do. And now you're going to throw them into a matchmaking scenario where the algorithm that you just bought this microtransaction, you got this gun, it is going to put you in a place where you succeed over somebody who's not paying. And in hopes that the person who's not paying is going to pay because they just got the crap kicked out of them by a guy who just bought microtransactions. This is bullcrap. And if this is how Activision is going to do it, I'm not. I was like, you know what? I was like, this game might be good. I might get this game.
Well, so far, they are not in any of the games released. They haven't said that because Call of Duty World War II has not been released yet, so it might be the first game that actually has it in there. I don't know yet.
If it does, I'm not getting it.
I do have something to note on it, though. It said, like, you kind of commented on it, where it said, like, it's not really gambling about paying for loot boxes or, like, the whole, like, loot box system. It actually is, because I can't remember if it was Japan or Korea, one of those countries, Blizzard actually had to change the way the loot box system works in Overwatch because gambling's illegal in whichever country it was. And so, like, that loot box system, which is exactly what they were describing, is gambling. Like, they had to change it. I can't remember how they changed it, but it's like, I think, like you can just straight up buy and I can't remember how it works, but they made it so that way it's not like you get a chance to get these things, and if you do buy it, because that's what gambling is. So yeah, the fact that it's gambling, I'm like, no, it is. Look at Overwatch. It is.
Anytime there's a chance that you can win something that you're having to pay money in order to win, that is a form of gambling.
Yeah, it's gambling.
Yeah. My biggest thing with this is that when you play multiplayer games, you are usually matched with people of your skill level.
Yeah.
This is going to match people in accordance to, have you bought anything with microtransactions, and have you not bought anything? Well, let's try to manipulate these people to buy something.
Technically, this could be considered an act of bullying, because
it's more of consumer marketing. It's just like going into a grocery store, like having like the milk is in the back of the store, and you're going to walk by everything else to go get milk. That's what it's like. I wouldn't necessarily call it bullying. It is underhanded.
It is. And like, when I say bullying, like it's aimed to make the person who's not buying anything. It's making them feel not inadequate, but not being as a skilled player. But it's hard to be a skilled. You could be skilled all day, but I mean, if you have someone with just an OP gun, just like in Destiny when you had
when Gallahorn was at the height of everything.
I mean, you can only do so much. But I just think it's stupid, and I think it, like you said, it's very underhanded and very shady, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. Oh, it's raining outside.
Yeah.
Men or cats and dogs?
Rain. So, let us know what you think in the comments below about Activision's microtransaction system that they're going to be implementing. That you don't get a patent on something that you're not going to implement.
Also, it might have been China. I was trying to find it.
Japan, North Korea. Oh wait, it was China.
I'm trying to look it up. I can't remember what country it was.